let's talk a little bit about Credit Suisse because they are in focus today. And unfortunately, they're kind of living up to their namesake that they would prefer not to be known as, which is Debit Suisse. Okay, that's what they're frequently referred to as because they have Credit Suisse has long had they have long had the worst risk management out of any major bank, arguably in the world. They continue to get caught up in basically every blow up on the wrong end of them. They were the bank that got rinsed during the Archegos blow up. What was that, last year or the year before? I can't remember when that was. Yeah. But they were the bank where, Goldman and everyone else were like, we're closing off your credit line. We're getting out. Mm-hmm. And Credit Suisse is like, wait, what happened? You guys are doing what happened here? So it's just been one thing after another. I think we went through, and between like fines and losses, it was, over the last 15 years, well up into the tens of billions of dollars just because they just have not managed their book well. They had also, I think it was, Tucker, when was the story about them trying to like reinvent their business? I think it was in the fall, and
winter, fall, somewhere in that range.
This was the one where they effectively said, hey, we're trying to do more business in Asia, and so despite the fact that we've tried to put in place all these new risk management systems, we're finding that a lot of clients don't really like them, and so we're going to move away from them. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just...
And didn't the U.S. sting them with a really big fine a bunch of years ago? I mean, it was like a sizable fine, like $1 billion, like $2.5 billion or something. They violated some, I think they were basically money laundering rules, right? Wasn't that what it was all about?
I mean, I've got all kinds.
There's a few of them, right?
I Googled Credit Suisse fines, and this is what comes up. In October, they paid a 238 million euro fine on French money laundering and tax fraud charges. On October 19th of 2021, they paid $475 million, including a $247 million criminal fine because of fraudulently misleading investors and violating the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Basically, again, they're funneling money around the globe, and again, they always end up in this stuff.
Were they the same?
Oh, here's another one. Oh, hang on.
This is the U.S. one, right?
No.
No?
I don't know. This is actually a timeline of Credit Suisse scandals.
That sounds fun.
Okay. So we can go through basically all those if you want to.
Well, wasn't there one that was a big bond trade that got the trader was kind of rogue and he
that was the London whale. That was actually J.P. Morgan, which was shocking because normally they don't blow up like that.
Yeah, okay, all right. Let's go back to J.P.
This is going back to 1999 with Credit Suisse.
Okay.
Japanese authorities in 1999 fined Credit Suisse and revoked its license to operate in the country over a shredding party at which bankers destroyed evidence related to an investigation. 2000. The Swiss Federal Banking Commission reprimanded Credit Suisse for accepting $214 million worth of funds linked to corruption by the Nigerian military dictator in the 1990s. 2004, a Credit Suisse banker was arrested for allegedly helping to launder at least 5 billion yen linked to Japan's largest Yakuza gang.
So they let him back in Japan so that they could launder money for the Yakuza.
2009, Credit Suisse was fined $536 million for deliberately circumventing U.S. sanctions against countries including Iran and Sudan between 1995 and 2007. 2011, Credit Suisse paid $150 million to settle an investigation into tax evasion by 1,100 of its German clients. 2012, the U.S. fined them $3 billion over the handling of subprime bonds. 2014, the U.S. fined them $2.6 billion, and Credit Suisse pled guilty to helping Americans evade taxes for decades. 2016, Credit Suisse reached a 109 million euro settlement with Italian authorities over helping clients hide funds. 2016, U.S. regulator finds Credit Suisse $16.5 million after identifying significant deficiencies in the bank's anti-money laundering program. 2017, they were fined, again, small one, $700,000 by the Singapore financial regulator for their role in the 1MDB scandal.
Oh, that's the one, yeah.
2017, Authorities raided offices in the Netherlands and France in connection with suspected tax evasion involving 55,000 accounts. Let's see, what else do we have here?
What I'm gathering from this is
2018.
Go ahead.
It just keeps going. So I had to scroll past an
going.
ad. Credit Suisse paid to pay $47 million to U.S. authorities over a corruption scheme where it tried to win business by offering jobs to family and friends of Chinese officials. 2019, the bank was caught in a corporate espionage scandal and eventually admitted to having private detectives track 2 outgoing executives. 2020, they were fined $146 million for trafficking funds for a Bulgarian drug ring. 2021, they recorded a $5.5 billion loss due to risky exposure to Archegos. Also 2021, they suspended $10 billion in investor funds after the collapse of supply chain lender Greensill Capital.
Oh, yeah. They were the ones scratching their head with that one, right?
2021, regulators fined Credit Suisse £350 million to settle the bank's role in the long-running Mozambique tuna bond scandal.
Oh, the old tuna bond scandal of
What the heck is
21.
it? What the heck is a tuna bond scandal? 2022, the chairman finally resigns. So that takes you through the last 25 years of Credit Suisse. They're thank you. They basically are always involved. And again, it's not surprising the Swiss banks are known for, secrecy and,
right.
tax. This is the stuff that they're known for. And this is why, when they said, hey, a few months ago, hey, our Asian clients were not happy with the, new regulatory practices we were trying to undertake, my interpretation of it was, hey, they didn't want to disclose where the money was coming
Their
from.
Asian clients, meaning North Korea, that were trying to circumvent some sort of,
My guess at the time was they were trying to funnel funds from a bunch of Russian oil that was probably shipped in violation of
totally.
sanctions.
How lucrative is that business, though, that they can stay an ongoing entity for all those years, just paying out billion over hundreds of millions over billions. I mean, I don't know what the tally was, Chuck. I couldn't keep it. But to try and tally the billions of dollars in fines, how much do you have to make to justify that?